Good evening and happy Nightmare Night to you lovely fillies and gentlecolts. I hope you will come to find enjoyment in this dramatic reading. I most certainly had a lot of fun making it. If you wish for me to make more, please let me know down in the comments below and be sure to leave a like. Also, please do check out the story as it is made by my dear friend Knack, and he is a wonderful writer. So be sure to head on over to the story at Fanfiction and read the rest for yourself if you wish. Though, like I said, if you wish for me to make more of the following story, then please let me know in the comments section below. Happy Nightmare Night to all, and to all a good fright. Chapter 1. Deep within the ever-free forest, Twilight Sparkle and her friends are gathered around a warm, crackling campfire in the middle of a chilly summer's night. The moon has risen. The eerie hooting of owls and rustling of branches and leaves helps set the mood for the scary story Rainbow Dash has been telling. The glow of the fire lights up her face and her ominous grin as she reaches the climax of her story. The five of her friends are huddled close to each other for comfort as they shiver and tremble from fear, all except for one, Twilight. She looks unfazed without a single twitch or sign of fear. And so, Rainbow Dash proceeds with her story. The filly galloped as fast as she could into the woods, but no matter how fast she was, she couldn't outrun the sound of flapping wings chasing after her. A shadow loomed over her and the creature landed before her, blocking her path. With nowhere else to turn, she froze in fear. "No!" Pinkie Pie shouts. "Yes, Pinkie." And the creature stepped towards her. Taking its time to savor the moment, the filly fell down onto her back, and the creature's face was revealed by the moonlight. It was a pony, but his face was pale white, and his eyes was blood red. He smiled, showing his long, terrifying fangs. The filly screamed as loud as she could, but no pony would come to her rescue this time. Rainbow Dash backs away from the fire until she is completely shrouded in darkness. Every pony looks to each other, still frozen in fear. "Where did she go?" Applejack asks. "I don't know, but I can't look." Fluttershy whines as she hides her face behind her hooves. The fire is suddenly snuffed out, and every pony's hearts skip a beat as their eyes widen from shock. If this is another one of Rainbow Dash's practical jokes, it is certainly not funny, Rarity declares. "You can say that again," Applejack reassures. "Why would I do that? Did you not hear me the first?" "Never mind, Rarity." The breeze suddenly stops and every pony is afraid to move a muscle. The sky has suddenly become crowded as a thick smoky cloud rolls in to block out the moonlight. Alone in the darkness, the five of them grasp onto one another for some sense of safety, with only the sounds of their heartbeats. "I can't take it anymore," Fluttershy says as she peeks through the space between her hooves. "What's going—" A dark figure plummets above, landing before them with a thud, spreading its wings, and follows up with a shrill hissing noise. "Ah!" The ponies scream in terror, bolting in every which direction to escape the horrid creature. Twilight, who's still sitting calmly in her spot, sighs as she casts a spell from her horn to bring back the fire to life with a spark. The creature falls back, rolling over in uncontrollable laughter. Every pony else peeks out from their hiding spots upon hearing the laughter and find the creature to be Rainbow Dash herself. Rainbow Dash, are you kidding me? Applejack asks angrily. That was, as I said earlier, not funny, Rarity yells. Oh, come on, how could you guys not have seen that coming? Rainbow Dash asks. Fluttershy pokes her head out from the bush she's been hiding behind. Is it safe? She asks. Yeah, it was just Rainbow Dash pulling one of her usual pranks, Applejack informs with a disapproving look. You guys gotta toughen up, Rainbow Dash encourages. I mean, just look at Twilight. She didn't even flinch. That's because I wasn't afraid at all, says Twilight. Really? Not even a tiny bit? That story was so grotesque and barbaric, Rarity adds. I don't see how any pony couldn't have had even the slightest reaction. It's just because I know vamp ponies don't exist. Are you sure? Rainbow Dash asks dubiously. There could be one. Right behind you! Twilight giggles. Sorry, Rainbow Dash, but make-believe monsters just don't scare me. What about ghosts? Pinkie Pie shouts as she jumps in from out of nowhere. Ghosts? Yeah, like the ones that go boo. Out of all different types of monsters that exist in fictions, ghosts are the ones I find the least to exist in reality. Well, what do you believe in? I believe in science, and scientifically there's no possible way that ghosts exist. There's just no proof. Ugh, talk about a stick in the mud. Oh, come on, you girls don't actually believe in ghosts, do you? Well, Applejack begins. Sometimes the doors in the barn open and close all on their own, and I ain't got no reasoning for it. That's just the wind, Applejack. Sometimes, Rarity starts, I'll catch a glimpse of what appear to be glowing eyes at night. That's just Opal. Cat's eyes do have that appearance when it's dark, and there's just a tiny bit of light to reflect off of them. One time, Fluttershy mumbles, I was in my living room, and this big scary shadow loomed over me. When I turned around, no pony was there. Fluttershy, that was your tail. It's always been your tail. Oh, right. Pinkie, any reason why you believe? Sometimes I hear voices, she bluntly says with glee, as every pony turns their attention to her all at once in confusion. Why do you say that? Pretty much anything. We all talk about the weather, what our plans are, our favorite sweets, our favorite treat. Oh, his favorite are the chocolate chip vanilla cupcakes. Pinkie, it just sounds like you were talking to a customer. But, Rainbow? Oh, I believe in ghosts, all right, Rainbow Dash confirms. Whenever I go out on my nightly flights, I swear some ponies always following me. I can hear them, and sometimes I catch a figure before it vanishes behind the clouds. Okay, Rainbow Dash, we're not moving into another scary story. I'm being serious. Well, you know there's plenty of birds that fly around at night. A bird? And if you're going to say it's too big to be a bird, I'm 99% positive it's just your eyes playing tricks on you. Every pony takes a moment to ponder over everything Twilight has said, and they all lower their heads as they come to agreement with her deductions. Well, Applejack begins in a defeated tone, I guess all that does sound pretty reasonable. Yes, I don't suppose there's any arguing against it, says Rarity. Thank goodness, because if a ghoulish creature was living in my boutique, I wouldn't spend another minute in there. See, now you all have nothing to be afraid of, says Twilight. Just then, the fire slowly dies out. This time, every pony's reaction is much closer to Twilight's first reaction to the fire being blown out. None of them flinch, and are instead slightly annoyed by the happenings. Oh, not again, Rarity whines. Rainbow, you cut it out, Applejack demands. It wasn't me this time, Rainbow Dash objects. Girls, I think the fire just needs some more wood. We should go gather some. All in agreement, they all go their own separate ways to forge fresh wood to burn. Twilight wanders into the woods without an ounce of fear, despite being all alone. She is calmed by the sounds of owls hooting and crickets chirping, as she knows it to be nothing more than harmless forest creatures. No misshapen bushes or trees are enough to trick her eyes into thinking it to be something out of the ordinary. She feels a sense of accomplishment after enlightening her friends to the truth. Now they won't mistake any of those ordinary things for evidence of the supernatural, and they can rest easy. As Twilight relishes in her triumph, she loses her balance and her body is sent tumbling down a steep decline she hadn't paid any attention to. Upon reaching the bottom, her head knocks into a tree trunk. The pain almost forces her to stay on the ground as she rubs her head in an attempt to help ease the pain. Her vision is slightly distorted, and stars shimmer everywhere she looks. Something she isn't too sure is a hallucination or a distortion of reality is what appears to be some pony standing nearby, as though she had landed directly before their hooves. The darkness coupled with the obstruction of her view by the tall grass surrounding her makes it difficult to tell. Excuse me, miss, the stallion asks. Are you okay? Looks like you've had quite a trip. Twilight chuckles nervously as she gets up from the grass, still holding on to the top of her head. Yeah, I just need to get back to my friends. Well, what's the rush? Maybe you should rest for a while longer before you hurt yourself. I suppose you're right. My name's Twilight Sparkle, and you are? With her vision now settling down, she is able to get a good look at the stallion before her. His coat of fur is a caramel brown, and his somewhat long, combed mane is of a much darker shade of brown. His face is innocent, and his smile gives off feelings of harmlessness. My name is Crackerjack. My friends and I are camping out here tonight. I was just on the lookout for some firewood. Really? Me too. Awesome. But I'm a little afraid. Why? Just being out here reminds me of something that happened to me not too long ago. You might think it's silly, but I swear, I saw a ghost. Ugh, not you two. What do you mean? I had this same conversation with my friends back at our campsite. I had to explain to all of them why their supernatural experiences were just everyday occurrences. So, you think you could explain mine? I'm positive I could. Just tell me what happened. I don't know. I won't laugh if that's what you're worried about. Well, can you promise? Twilight giggles and playfully rolls her eyes. I promise. No, there's a certain special way you got to promise. Okay. How do I do that? It's a secret promise that only my friends and I know. Whenever we need to keep a secret or swear to go through with something, we say it so we know that we mean it. I'm sure you and your friends have something like that, right? Actually, yes, we do, and I completely understand. Perfect. Then, can you just say the words, I, then your name, give up my ghost? It's a little strange, but okay. I, Twilight, oh, and you have to raise your left hoof. You have to do that too. While following his directions, she looks to him with an awkward glance, with an eyebrow raised. I, Twilight Sparkle, give up my ghost. Once the last words leave her lips, she feels a bizarre sensation overwhelm her body. The world around her appears to be spinning out of control, making her nauseous and confused. The trees and grass start to melt and malform into particular shapes. The only thing that remains the same is Crackerjack, whose smile has become much more dubious and his eyes much less innocent than before. What's happening? Well, I was just about to tell you my story. Crackerjack then steps towards her. I was wandering through the woods, just like this, all alone. With a blink, the color of his eyes changed to a glowing yellow. I then bumped into this particular stallion. The color of his coat of fur shifts to a pearl white, and his shirt morphs into a striped suit with a red tie. With every word he speaks, his voice grows more raspy and demonic. He was the only friendly face around, so I trusted him. Oh, and what a mistake I made. He smiles, and his clean, white smile has turned yellowed and ugly. His combed mane flares up into a crazy style and turns from a brown to a yellowish green. Twilight trembles in fear upon the completion of his transformation. She falls to the ground, and he continues to loom over her with an insane look in his eye. She can almost see the treetops and moonlight through his slightly transparent body. He then ripped the ghost right out of me. Wait a minute. No. This story isn't about me. It's been about you all along.
No! Twilight screams. It's impossible! There's no such thing!
Are you sure? The ghostly stallion grabs hold of Twilight's hoof and holds it up close to her face, where she finds it has somehow become just as transparent as him. In a panic, she examines the rest of herself, gasping and whimpering, as she can clearly see through her own body. She then notices some pony laying on the ground beside her. The pony, so identical, it can only be her own lifeless body. So, still don't believe in ghosts? The ghostly stallion laughs as Twilight desperately tries to make sense of all this in her mind. But the only signal coming from her brain is telling her to run. Fearing for her life, she turns and gallops as fast as she possibly can into the woods, screaming and shouting for her friends to come to her aid
as the ghostly stallion continues to laugh and mock her in the distance. Go ahead and run. We've still got lots of fun to have, you and I.